Hi everyone, I hope you're okay. In theory I should be quiet this morning because I've got two sleeping teenagers. In practice, I guess they managed to sleep through me printing, so yeah. I hope that you are well this morning. I hope that you've had a nice week. I had a busy week. It was one of those weeks where my day job took over my life, which doesn't happen too often anymore, fortunately for me. But yeah, so busy, and everything else, of course, just gets pushed to the side, just kind of go into coping mode. So I think I had a lot more tolerance for that sort of energy sucking level of requirement before I had kids. Speaking of sleeping kids, jeepers, I don't know if you can hear that banging in the background. That's my husband attacking a stump that won't come out of the ground. But once I had kids, I got sleep deprived and a lot more precious about the amount of energy I could put into things that didn't matter to me. And that sounds really bad if you know me at all at work. I'm not saying that work doesn't matter to me, but just the extremeness of it can be a bit wearing. So I'm very glad that extremeness doesn't come up very often. So hopefully that was a nice save. So printing this morning, printing early, but deliberately not printing a lot because I've got another busy day. So they all seem to be a bit busy at the moment, and I want to get some relaxed time in today because this week is going to be another hectic one at work, but also at home. It's the season of birthdays. My husband's family all have birthdays in September, bar one person, and just makes for a busy month. And Father's Day, of course, comes around that time as well. So yes, busy times at home, busy times at work, and busy times at art too. So last week I met with my final artist in relation to my Privilege Meter grant, and I also met with another organisation about it as well, and both were just freaking awesome, just awesome chats. And when I get really busy, I struggle to shift my focus, but that was okay, I guess. It was they weren't hard people to speak to. They were just freaking gorgeous people, and that helps. And they love what they do, and they know what they're about, and that's really grounding for someone like me who can be not flittery. I don't know what that's not really a word, but I have to change modes. I have to change between day job, artist, home person quite a bit, and sometimes I forget where my head's at. And so it was just really nice to sink into two separate conversations that were just really focused on art and on what I'm hoping to achieve with the Privilege Meter, but also covering what I do with Paper Women. And yeah, and coincidentally I caught up with another friend that I hadn't seen for a long time, and it's really easy not to talk about my art stuff with people I love. Some people just aren't interested in it, and that's fine. Some people are interested in it but read all about it on the socials, so again, that's fine. They don't feel any need to question me about it, I guess. But it was really, so yeah, I ended up with 3 really intense conversations this week that were just really grounding for me as an artist, and just really reminded me where I'm at and why I'm there. And even though my head felt like it was going to blow off many times during the week because of work stuff, paid work stuff, it was really nice to have that not so subtle reminder from the universe that my purpose is art stuff, and I can be busy doing other stuff, but this is where I'm meant to be. And it brings me immense joy when I get those reminders or get put back in that space. Immense joy. Yep. And I'll take that because sometimes you need it. Okay, printing. So today all I printed were the two, not all, I take that back. Today what I did print, I didn't want to do a lot of printing, so today what I printed was the two first images for the privilegeometer, which when I think about it is pretty exciting. I've been rabbiting on about these because I was carving them onto kind of white easy carve lino, this new lino for me, and I didn't know how they'd print up. It's super thick. I should have grabbed it to show you here, I guess. The idea of it being that it's really expensive for lino for what it is, but you're meant to be able to carve on both sides, and I can see how that could happen today because it was really very stable. So when I just used my, what I'll call my book press, my, press down rather than roll, a little roller one, because I didn't want to, the lino's 30 by 30 and I've got something printed already on the back of it to, not printed, got something transferred on the back of it to carve, and I didn't want to split that image. So I just went to the book press and it was really stable. So when I was trying to compress it, there wasn't a heck of a lot of give involved. So, so it did take quite a bit of ink to get it to black, but these aren't, these images, these artworks are just for transfer purposes. So I only had to print them to bullshit paper, get them to a relative black that I was happy with, and then I'll be manipulating them in the computer anyway. So yeah, so I was pretty happy. So butcher's paper, so it won't look quite right, but there's the first part of it, which was my big top, circus tent, big top, yeah, I guess that works, circus tent. And the second part, which I'll hold up this side, is that going to work? Like that, is a, here's my memory going weird again, high striker. It took me ages to work out what that actually was, that thing called. I don't know. It's that thing you see in the sideshow alley at the shows, and you basically smash it with a weighted hammer, and it goes up, hopefully reaches the top, and kind of sums up. It doesn't sum up the privilegeometer, but it'll be a kind of a, basically, the higher up you go, you ring the bell, you're the most privileged. But I've just realised the weighted hammer is more weighted with, rather than physical strength, it's more weighted with, the privilege that you're born into. So it might be too far of a reach, but anyway, that's my theory. It's a circus thing, it's all circus themed. So I'm pretty happy with that. The blacks are pretty good, and that'll scan fine, and I'll manipulate it a little bit and add text. I could have probably carved text in, but I couldn't be bummed really, basically, because this is going to be a projection and I want it to be crystal clear what the text means. So, and so after that this morning, excuse me, after that, I stuffed around a bit with some zines. So in Lovely News, which I think I put a post up about a week ago saying that I'm putting more of my zines into the state collection, library collection, if they would have me and have them, and they got back to me to say yes, they are very keen on them, which is lovely to hear. So and the one that I haven't, the one that I've got completed really, that's been out in the public but wasn't very happy with, was the paper women's zines, the 6 of them. I just had it stuck in my head, I had to have a concertina effect with the women to represent the paper chain, but gee, they're hard work putting together. They are such hard work, and because of that, I don't tend to put them together, so I put them off and then do heaps at once and just get really annoyed with the process. So I've been thinking on that and thinking how to rearrange it, and I've just come back to a simple, they'll just be basically stapled in half, and they'll read, just like that. And I tried everything I could think of, gluing them together, stapling them together, everything to get them to be a big concertina sort of effect, because I kind of want to get about 50 of the stories together in the one zine, just to make it cost efficient, time efficient for me, but also for the people reading. So I think that's what frustrated me. Each of the zines, there were 6 of them, each of them had 8 stories, and as a general rule, people are going to pick up one zine at a time. They're not going to grab 6 zines or 7 zines, and so if they've left that space and they've read and they go, right, I want to read the others, how will they get back to them? Because the exhibition's moved on, or they're not available for being given out, like some of the issues. So I thought, yeah, get as many, as many stories in as possible. And so I'm aiming for 50 and put a cover on it, and it'll be easy to staple it together. I've just got to rearrange how it's all set up. So it's not as fun looking, but it's more practical and it'll work for me. So then after that, I'll request to see if the State Library wants a copy of this one in the collection. And that really thrills me, the idea that these women's stories and experiences, I mean, they're going to be on record anyway because of the artwork, but you know, it's pretty cool to think that they're actually in the library. So they will always be there, and to just value adds, I think, to what I can offer these women when they give me their stories. So eventually, when the artwork stops moving around to community venues and galleries and stuff, I'm going to turn those stories into artist books anyway. But artist books are different again. They're just not so, people get delicate about things that are artworks, and the zine's not delicate. Like, anyone can pick that up and put their fingers all over it, and I can make new ones, and that's better. That's better for what we're trying to do with Paper Women. So yeah, anyway, I wasn't going to talk for long, and I've crapped on for nearly 12 minutes, so it's time to wrap this up. I'm going to do some hand colouring of an old lino next, and relax. That's what my big aim today is, relax before I have to go out visiting people. So hope you are well. Hope you are having a good week. I asked how your week was going when I started the video, and now I'm going to close off by saying I hope your week coming is as good as possible, and that you're in a safe space, and that you get a chance to relax, and that things in your life are as good as they can be and ticking along in the direction that you want them to be. So yeah, so take really good care, and I'll talk to you next week. See ya.